Many of you viewers have told us how you're affected by Portland's problems revolving around crime and homelessness, and that you want to see solutions.
And of course, we are listening to what you tell us. With that, we did send our Elise Haas to look for programs that are working to rebuild lives. She joins us here in studio now with a story that truly shows the power of a second chance.
Yeah, so I really heard from residents who say they want to see people become productive members of society. And I've also heard from people on the opposite side of that spectrum that often they want to be that too. So I found a program that's an example for how to create systemic change.
You know, you hear once you got a felony, it pretty much ruins your life.
Trinell Washington was born and raised in Northeast Portland in the 80s.
I grew up in Northeast Portland my whole entire life, you know, and I grew up during a time where the neighborhood was drug riddled as well as infested with gangs.
He got wrapped up in that lifestyle.
Being involved in guns and drug trafficking and gang activities had landed me in jail. And yes, it wasn't just one time. It took me several times.
Upon release, he struggled, finding a job that would pay a good wage, considering his checkered past.
I came through Constructing Hope, and when I came through Constructing Hope, they had some pretty good opportunities for me.
Coming from a troubled background with few opportunities and even fewer people who believed in him, he says the program Constructing Hope changed his life. The nonprofit focuses on helping people of color, those unemployed or formerly incarcerated, and low-income individuals re-enter the workforce and get middle-class wages in construction.
When we look at our homeless situation today, most of these folks were formerly incarcerated with no way to re-enter society.
Pat Daniels founded this pre-apprenticeship construction training program with wraparound supports to give people a second chance at life at no cost.
If you've done the time, how long should you pay for that crime? How do we move forward? And think about, if these are your kids, do you punish them for anything that they do for the rest of their lives? So as a society, that's one of the things that we have to look at.
According to the Prison Policy Initiative, Oregon releases around 200,000 job candidates from its prisons and jails each year. Because of stigmas associated with having a criminal record, only about half will get called back from potential employers. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, more than 2/3 of all inmates released from prison will be rearrested within 3 years. The team at Constructing Hope wants to help employers change their perception of people with a criminal history.
I think the main thing for us is making sure that the conversation about fighting recidivism and workforce development and rehabilitation become one conversation and not separate conversations.
Noah Kone says not only are there financial and tax incentives for employers who offer jobs to people coming out of the criminal justice system, but it can also boost their bottom line.
It's not a charity situation. You know, these folks are actually going to bolster your workforce, they're going to contribute, and they're going to come and actually help move your company forward.
It all comes down to seeing people's potential.
So, given the opportunity, anybody can do anything that they want if they have the proper support and guidance.
11 years ago, maybe 12 by now, my husband and I were living under a bridge. All right? Getting out of our addiction, went through treatment. I got into Constructing Hope.
And not completely writing somebody off because they do something wrong.
If you don't make it the first time, you get to come back again. The one person who went through this program 3 times over a period of years is now a developer.
She's talking about Trinell. The chances he got at Constructing Hope propelled him from a life of crime to a current contractor, running his own business for nearly a decade.
So the people that I employ are previously incarcerated individuals, people that come from crisis, people that have a story similar to mine that know hardship.
His company, Brothers IC, focuses on commercial and residential painting, but they also do graffiti removal and traffic control. Through hard work and mentorship, his life has come full circle. The same neighborhood that led him astray also got him back on the straight and narrow.
I feel like it's a purpose in the submission. I feel like everything that I went through, it all makes sense to me now. To be able to align with people who also have been through tough times, and to be able to share the compassion and the heart to be able to find change throughout our circumstances.
While his path wasn't easy, he attributes his success and the success of his employees to Constructing Hope.
they work with people who need a second and third chance. And it helps you to build your confidence back inside the community. It helps you to be able to understand why it's important to live a productive life in your community as well.
Trinell tells anyone who feels lost in life, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish.
So if you are inspired by the work that Constructing Hope is doing, there are ways that you can get involved by being a volunteer. So if you're an expert at a trade, green energy, math, personal finances, or even nutrition, they are looking for people like you to come in and teach a class, because it's about giving people life skills so they can be self-sufficient. If you'd like to volunteer, go to constructinghope.org. You can also find a link in this story at KOIN.com.
That is so touching, and I think, of course, we're hearing Trinell's personal story. I think many people watching can relate that maybe they have dealt with something similar to Trinell, or they know somebody close to them who's experienced something like that. So it makes me wonder, how big is this program? How many people can they serve? Because a lot of people want this kind of help.
Oh, that's a good point. So, they do have a summer program for high school students, so they can introduce students to the trade if college isn't an option. But they're really serving about 100 to 125 individuals a year, and they're really at capacity at this point, and they say they want room to grow because we have some really great opportunities in our region for construction coming up soon. For instance, because we have the Interstate Bridge construction project, replacement project, which needs 40,000 workers. So think just how much more beneficial it would be to be able to bolster a local workforce, pay our people here versus paying some folks from out of state.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed in your report, you had an image from a sign with some of the supporters of this program, and I noticed Colas Construction, Herman and Andrew Colas. So that's the biggest black construction company in Oregon and one of the biggest in the state. So seeing that name as a supporter lets me know that there's a pipeline to actual work and actual jobs.
Exactly, because they actually partner with all of these unions. So some of that video was them actually going out to a union site. And so they are a pre-apprenticeship program that really funnels them straight into great apprenticeship work.
All right. Thank you very much, Elise.
Thanks.